Oh my god, here we go, intro music, and here we go, yeah, being 8-bit homo, woo, yeah, Monster Cat, please approve my license, boom, 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 intro music, yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to another video today, a video that I didn't want to make, but my name has been thrown around in recent drama with the Cube, so I guess this is a better time than any to say my opinion on some matters. Now I just want to preface this and say that these are all my opinions, these are all my thoughts. None of this is concrete fact. This is just what I've seen, and this is my own perspective on what's happened and things that have occurred to me. Also, I want to point out I won't be speaking about anything that has not involved me because there's no point for me to give my opinion on things that I had no matter in. So without further ado, let's talk about why I was removed. Yes, removed from the Cube SMP before I even began. So to give a little bit of history, the reason why I know the Cube is because Tomahawk added me to the TeamSpeak one day during his 24-hour live stream, and ever since then I got to know a lot of the Cube members and I've become really good friends with them, and I'm still really good friends with them. And that through that networking and through knowing them, they kind of started to know me and know my content, and I collabed with a few of them, and when time came for season 2 to start, they were really looking to add new members about mid-season for season 2. So they hosted this gigantic kind of weird trial thing to look at a bunch of different channels. They looked at my channel and Talkio's and Will Shep, because this was after they originally said no to Will Shep. They were like reconsidering his channel. This is before I knew why Will Shep hadn't been added. I had no idea it was because of tweets that were made. I was told specifically that the reason Will Shep was not added the first time was because he wasn't uploading as often as they wanted him to upload. And then there's a few other people that were being considered for that. So I was thrown into that mix and said, hey, we're going to be looking at your channel over the next few months, and we're going to see how consistent you are and the type of content you create. Do you bring your own audience and stuff like that? And even before this, I had been told several times that I was a strong consideration for the Cube. And when I had been on trips with Cube members, I had been told several times that I was going to be added. Whenever they talked about business-related stuff with the Cube, they kind of included me in those talks. They were like, oh, don't worry, this still applies to you because you're going to be added soon. So I always had the mindset that I was going to be added to the Cube eventually. So after several months of them apparently deliberating about different people, they came to the conclusion of No Boom and I. So No Boom and I were supposed to be added to the Cube on the same exact day. We even came up with a really cool intro that was supposed to happen during the Cube elections once they announced the King and the Queen. For the Cube Season 2, there was supposed to be a plane that like crashes with No Boom and I inside of it, and in our videos, or in my video at least, it was going to tell what had happened in the past 6 months of us surviving out in the wilderness while the Cube Season 2 was happening. And then I was going to add a storyline throughout my SMP involving like a curse and finding like ancient temples of people who used to live on the server years and years and years ago. It was just over the top and crazy, but it was supposed to add minutes and add some, interest back into the series. So then I got confirmation from several members that I was confirmed on the Cube and that I was supposed to start recording on the following Saturday. But because of some things that happened, they had to delay the recording 1 extra week. And in that extra week is when this whole Mindplex thing started. And now it's time to talk about this crazy Mindplex thing that happened. I thought it had happened in the past. That's why I didn't want to talk about it. But now, since it's being brought back up, it's time for me to say my opinions on some things. So if you don't know what the whole Mindplex situation was, back in the day, Mindplex was banning people for having LGBT-esque names in their username. So in the case of this ruling, there was a username that was G4Y, which was gay, didn't even explicitly say gay, and it was banned, and they reached out to me via Twitter, and they were like, hey, this isn't right. You should do something about this. And a part of me thought I shouldn't say anything because this could ruin my chances with the Cube. But then a part of me was like, F that. No, I need to say something. This is not okay. And I didn't bash Mindplex. I didn't bash Parker Games. All I did was I simply tweeted out exactly what their forum post said and said, this is not okay. And people were mad at Mindplex and bashing Mindplex not because of something I said, but because of their stupid ruling. And that's what a lot of the Cube members misinterpreted. They thought that the reason why Mindplex was getting all this hate and Parker was getting all of this hate was because of me bashing all of these people and causing a bunch of drama. All I did was tag their stupid ruling, and their stupid ruling, started the drama itself. And in the case of me tagging Parker in a tweet, I simply did that because he was the only person that I knew that was associated with Mindplex, and I wanted to get, someone's perspective on this that actually worked with Mindplex. So I tagged him in a tweet, and he was getting a lot of hate. So in my stream and on Twitter, I was like, hey, this is not okay. People can't be saying these things about Parker. Parker has nothing to do with this. And he really didn't have anything to do with it. But a lot of the Cube saw it as me stirring the pot, causing drama, hating on Parker, which was not the case at all. But I digress. Anyway, what happened is essentially the Mindplex owner wanted to reach out to me. They will go unnamed which owner because of the very homophobic things they said in a Skype chat that I had with this person. I was live streaming at the time and I did not want to talk to this person on Skype, but they were adamant that we talk. So I was still talking to them while I was live streaming. I was typing out. I had blocked out all the gameplay and I was like, I'm sorry guys, I need to do this really quick. I thought the conversation was going to take 5 minutes. It took 15 minutes and some very, very homophobic things were said. So anyway, the Cube decided to have a meeting to decide whether or not it was still going to be added to the Cube like originally that was agreed upon, and they, instead of, getting both sides of the story, decided to only include the perspective of the Mindplex employee, the Mindplex owner that I'd had a Skype conversation with. Now, there were two things that I did not like about this, and I was very mad at the Cube about this. I'm over it now, but I'm bringing this back up only because this has been brought back up. But essentially, they got his side of the story, did not get mine. He lied about a lot of things in that meeting. He said that personal details about the business conversation that I had with Mindplex were revealed to the public through stream and through Twitter, which was not true, because if I said anything that had happened in that meeting, that person's reputation would be ruined because of all of the homophobic things that were said. I mean, we had comparisons between pedophilia and homosexuality that were said in that meeting. Come on. And I was mad about it because the Cube, instead of taking my perspective as a friend, took Mindplex's perspective as a business opportunity, a business person, and I was very mad about that. But I understood kind of where they were coming from. They didn't want drama because obviously there was drama between me and Mindplex at the time, and they didn't want to add me because, that reputation and that relationship was kind of tarnished, which I was completely okay with. I completely understood that. I had conversations with them and I was like, you know what? It's your server. Do whatever you want. I am still friends with a bunch of people in the Cube, and I do want to point out something that I've been very, very, I don't know, it's been bothering me when I've been seeing responses to Devin's video, are that people are putting most of the blame on Grazer, which is not what you need to be doing. Grazer is literally 1/20th of the Cube. If you have an issue with the Cube group, don't just put Grazer as the scapegoat for it all. Don't put all the blame on Grazer for everything the Cube does, because the Cube decisions are done as a group. And I'm only saying that because going forward from here, if the Cube does anything that you don't agree with, blame the group as a whole. Don't blame one person in that group. Now, this goes for anything in your life. If you don't agree with, say, a music group for doing something, you don't just blame the lead singer. You blame that entire music group because they are associated with that group and they helped make that decision for whatever that group did. The same goes for the Cube. You can't just blame one person, because I honestly see Grazer as a friend. Grazer has done a lot of things for me. He was one of the main people that wanted to get me added to the Cube in the first place, and he shouldn't be stomaching all of this blame from everyone. And lastly, do I think the Cube is homophobic? No. I am friends with a lot of the Cube members. They are not homophobic. They are super cool, super accepting of who I am. And I think that their response on the Cube official Twitter account was very poorly worded. I know back in the conversations I had with them on TeamSpeak, they were much more collected in their opinions on the matter. They just wrote a very stupid response on Twitter involving something along the lines of, well, we're friends with gay people, so we're cool with gay people, which is not at all the stance that you need to be taking. on this, because just because you're friends with gay people does not mean you're okay with gay people. That's like saying, "Oh, I'm cool with black people because I have a black friend." No, that's not how it works. But no, I do not see the Cube as homophobic. There's been a lot of drama recently with a lot of different things, and I'm just going to speak, like I said, about the things that have affected me. If you have any questions in the comments, please leave them down below and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Make sure that the questions are related to me and my channel. And going forward, I'm still going to keep making videos like I've always been doing. I'm going to possibly still collab with some of the Cube members. And if you're a Cube member watching this and you are offended by anything that I said, so be it, because this is my perspective on the matter and this is my opinions on what happened with me. And if you're offended by that, you should probably figure out something more internally about yourself than worry about my own opinions on something that's, affected me. Anyway, I didn't script this at all. I just kind of was off the cuff saying stuff. I will see you guys tomorrow with another video and another live stream. And until then, stay awesome, stay beautiful. Bye-bye.
Outro music. Ba ba da 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 da. Outro music that sounds somewhat similar to the intro. Ba na 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 na. Yeah.